As I gain more experience living this lifestyle, I understand that I need to be able to learn to take the good with the bad. For instance, I knew that the pattern of the moon was going to be giving me an opportunity to capture what I consider a moon rise, which is an exceptional opportunity if you think about it. I also have the opportunity to change the view from my office on a regular basis. That is something that I greatly appreciate and certainly do not take for granted.
And this is why I don't like camping in areas where there's ready access, because you get piles and piles of garbage. Now, I mean, yeah, I could go in and pick all this stuff up, but then I'm carrying a ton of garbage that I've got to try to find a place to put. Because if they had a dumpster at the exit, well, I would hope people would use it, but nothing's guaranteed. You know, there really is something remarkable to say about what you see right now. Because there are a lot of lights on the horizon, just below where I'm standing. So last night I panned this exact same spot, and you can see off in the distance the houses that are out there. And there's quite a few houses, but then there's this area between here and the houses. And as I continue to pan around, and I apologize because the sun is going to kind of glare it a little bit, but you'll see that there are quite a few people staying in this area as well. And yet last night, when I panned this exact same area, you may remember that there were little to no lights close to where I'm standing. Just on the distance. There's a reason for that.
Any trash that we find as we disperse camp can be picked up for the most part. Sometimes it's a little bit much, but it can be done. But one of the most valuable things that we have is light discipline. The view that we can get at night when we live this lifestyle is something that some people have never experienced in their entire life. While it may be necessary to organize camp on occasion in order to charge up electronics or to refill my water, it is something that I am very happy that I don't have to do on a regular basis. I have what I need in order to disperse camp, which is exactly what I prefer to do. In order to have the degree of privacy that I actually prefer, I need to be out in the middle of nowhere. BLM land is perfect for that. But again, there are times whenever you have to stay in a campsite. The drawback to that is the privacy that you receive is only the privacy that your neighbors are willing to afford you. Sometimes it almost seems like you're stacked in on top of each other, and I've even heard people say it's like basically being stacked in like sardines.
Another glass and I am going places, makes me laugh.
Saguaro cactus are found exclusively in the Sonora Desert. The most important factor for growth are water and temperature. If the elevation is too high, the cold weather and frost can kill the saguaro. An interesting fact that a lot of people may not know is because saguaros grow so slowly, it might take 50 to 75 years for them to grow their first arms. And arms are of course very important for them because they store extra water. After 100 years, they usually have several arms, and about 200 years, they'll have many arms. And they are edible. Interestingly enough, you can take the saguaro, remove the edible fruits and seeds, and the saguaro fruit can be eaten in different ways. For instance, you can eat the fresh fruit, or you can blend it to make a juice.
Something special, I'm sure. Everything makes total sense when you're next to me.
On my way to the Red Rock Desert, I had the opportunity to travel through the Saguaro National Park. It was my hope that I would be able to camp within the Saguaro National Park, but they did not have any campsites except on the periphery. Traveling through this park was an exceptional opportunity. The weather was perfect, the sky, the background was absolutely beautiful. The saguaro, some tall, some small, were absolutely gorgeous. I definitely will take the opportunity to spend a little bit more time in this park whenever I have an opportunity in the future.
Where you wanna go? I am all about adventure times. Another drink and I'll go anywhere. The way you smile, like a flash in the universe. You are
I did have an opportunity to stop at the Arizona Veterans Memorial Cemetery. Every opportunity that I have, I'm going to stop and I'm going to honor the veterans, the men and women that serve this nation. I didn't spend a lot of time there because they were engaged in an internment, and I did not want to dishonor that veteran or their family. But I did stop briefly, and I did honor the veterans of the state of Arizona in my own way.
It's quite a lonely world that we're living in. Oh baby, you are something special, I'm sure. Everything makes total sense when you're next to me.
In the butt for not recording that one. There's a black dot in the clouds up there. It's an Apache helicopter that just came over, basically flew right over the top of my head, and I heard it coming, but I wasn't sure if it was going to be north or south of me until it was pretty much overhead, and it was flying at an altitude of only about 300 or 400 feet, and it would have been pretty cool to catch.
I am not so sure you believe me, but if I mean to show you, I will.
And of course I was able to catch that one because I pretty much knew which direction he was coming from, and more than likely which direction he was headed. But he didn't come anywhere near as close as the Apache did. The Apache flew up over the tree that you see just in front of the camera, and then basically turned left, heading in the same direction that you just saw that Black Hawk headed.
Everything makes total sense when you're next to me. Oh, everything makes total sense when you're next to, when you're next to, when you're next to me.
The drone that I have has really been a godsend. Not only do I get spectacular views like you're watching now, but I can also use it to help me whenever I need a little bit of guidance. As I was coming in here, there were several trails that meandered left and right. I could have the mountain as a waypoint, but still not entirely sure as to which direction I should take whenever it was time to get back to the hardtop. So I just threw the drone up and used it to guide me in the direction that I needed to go. And then I can follow that path and I can determine if there are any obstacles in my way that I would not be able to overcome.
This is a science example, and I'm a historian, but I also enjoy science. And this is proof that you can still get a sunburn even when it's cloudy. Right now I've got my jack recharging. I've got the solar panels facing directly towards the sun, and I have 4 watts coming in. Put on your sunscreen, boys and girls.
Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know, if I'll ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
All the best, always.
Come down to the underground old school. Here's a shovel. Can you dig it, fool? Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
In my humble opinion, the only thing that you need to hear is God's will. And if you can't hear that, stop talking.